I think maybe this is a character that won't make it to the final stages, but to be honest, I'm scared of this guy now. This is a guy who's hidden behind his Spanish language. He's pushing for and we're entering it right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we
this
are.
is a Spaniard. This is Spaniard on Spaniard combat.
Oh, this is
Baguera
your favorite
versus
team as
Misukun.
well. Look at this. You have the PD to cast. Aren't you hyped about that one?
Oh man, this PD account. This is the exact team I ran the first time I got Darkest One. Unbelievable team if you can leverage it properly. Using all of the debuffs from every single character, that stealth from the occultist, to really make sure your weakest characters are actually very, very well defended and presented. Maybe the illumination can clear it, but really, Mike, this is an insane game. I'm so excited. I might need to run to the potty really quick. I think I might need to take over now.
Oh, he gets the puncture going into this one. So this PD, again, already under heavy pressure. But what we saw in the previous game by Misukun was actually the stealth PD delivering the accuracy debuffs on the backline of his opponent. And that's just not going to happen right now. Also, there's going to be so... That was a mistake, I think, because this Hellion might also fly out of the window right now.
No, not Mike. This is a situation I've been in an awful lot playing this inside comp. What you need to do here is leverage as many of those Stitching Embraces as you can. Because again, Stitching Embrace is one of the massive crit there, pushing him back into third. Maybe not doing a giant amount, but dazing him as well. Because he has to act last, so his stun comes last if he does want to stun regardless. That stealthed Plague Doctor there in third with that rampart pushing him forward, exactly. He's going to hit so much stress and the accuracy debuff. Mike, this is really Misukun's game. Watch this. But look at that.
There's going to be Hellion landing in third and PD landing in second. Man. That's what he should have anticipated this.
This is what Plague Doctor does. Plague Doctor right now is taking home. That is basically 3 turn economies. 50 stress on both, minus accuracy. That is absurd. He's really taking home, mate. Even in second, boom. He can throw down a single target stress ability. He can easily take the Abomination, shuffle him back, shuffle him forward, maybe push that Shield Breaker out of exposed range, that front row ability range, push the Jester back even, and also do an insane amount of stress.
Yeah, it might be just another pushback from the A-bomb though. It might be like, here's the Padlock, which does give him a slight movement bonus. He actually goes for Rage here. Ira, I believe, is a word for Rage. Like, this is the same in English, Aya, right? You have the word Aya as well for that. So
exactly,
kind of yeah, he drops the Aya. It sounds so much better than Rage, doesn't it? We might just start calling this thing Aya from now on.
Well, I think Aya in English is more of a kind of subtle tone. It's more kind of passive-aggressive, but Rage here, very aggressive as that Rage was. And now again, that heavy stress on both. This Vestal, heavy accuracy debuffs, pushing towards that max stress range. That Jester in third again. Very high base accuracy, especially with that finisher there. Against the target on low health, that lad.
Oh, this was trouble for the PD.
Oh, that's why you want to. That's why you want to stealth him, right? You wanted to stealth him with the occultist first, don't you?
Yeah, you do, but it just did not happen.
Yeah.
You have to imagine that at some point this Hellion again flies back to the fourth, and then there is no easy get out of the jail card for this PD. Although she might just die next turn, honestly, because like you cannot guard this anymore because this Jester has the finisher. So I don't think guarding is the right move. You might just have to side the
issue with Misukun's team here. Baguera's team here is fairly straightforward in that you're waiting for Misukun here to make a mistake. Misukun here needs to play defensively perfectly every turn. He needs to stealth, he needs to guard, he needs to move, and that's a bolster, right? And that's a guard rather. Pushing his protection forward on the Manitons. But that Dark Stab on the Baguera, he Dark Stabs right now, just going to right through, isn't it? There we go.
That's an insane kill as well. Very, very
I
quickly
believe
into the
Dark
game.
there in Spanish was a dick. Provincial de dick. So he just got dicked on, quite frankly, quite literally, Mike.
He did. Like, that's what you're worried about if you play PD though, right? This is like the most scary thing in the world. You just being consistently harassed and moved around, and those two characters actually, like both the Hellion and PD, in the stress comp anyway, they don't like being moved. And what we saw here, like, this is heavy movement come from Baguera. I feel like this is just a compositional mismatch in a sense. Like,
we say that, Mike, we say that, but really, Misukun here, he's taking a team that I took. This is a team you can only play when you are wasted, right? When you really want to take the entire turn order down. Because you need to play so carefully. You are one turn away. This entire game revolved around the one occultist turn where he chose not to stealth the Plague Doctor. Not stealthing the Plague Doctor there lost him the entire game here.
Yeah, it was highly
such a
dubious
difficult comp to play. And I think here Misukun maybe, weirdly enough, being the host of the last tournament and not the player, maybe falling to this kind of this stress, you know, this meta stress, playing a little bit too quickly as we've seen here. He's being slower now, but come on, let's be honest. These have been quick games, haven't they, Misukun?
Yeah.
We would like to see them think a little bit more.
I have to say that I'm not a big fan of what Baguera is doing either. Like, he's using manacles on a 100% stun res Hellion, where he could have easily just transformed and gone for a push, right?
Absolutely.
That's a
even
finale.
any rage, any damage. There we go.
Yeah, this is not looking too hot for Misukun at all. Like, he hasn't been able to do enough stress, I feel, to dominate this game at all. Like, this is just going to be a slow death right now. Because those two characters, like especially the MAA, obviously very, very difficult to pin down and kill. So Baguera might take a while to get this, though. No, Pierce does indeed go through all the guards, so maybe there's just gonna be a crit or something, and it might. Okay, let's actually expose coming down from the shield breaker here, and this does stress Misukun's comp a little bit. I feel like this was just a. Perhaps if Misukun had gone first and had been able to just start with those stealths from the very start, then it could have been a different game. But right now it's like a fully controlled game from Baguera, and it just feels super bad for Misukun playing this one right now. Like, I feel like he just picked the weakest comp he had again, and I don't feel he's gonna be able to pull off a victory again in here. Though we have to consider the fact he has two very potent compositions available still, so he might just play one of those two. And
I mean, even that said, I think Misukun's comp right now is such a powerful comp. He could have taken this one. He just didn't quite play it right. We see uses remaining there. Usos restantes there on the Abrazo Estigio, that Stygian Embrace.
Yeah.
He didn't use all of them. Really, you want to use all of your used per turn abilities in the game, right? He could have used those on the Plague Doctor and really taken home, but he just has not.
Yeah, that's true, but there's just so much more. As you said, like a single small mistake that Misukun makes is a game over. I feel like this is just exactly what happened. Maybe he had like stealthed a different character, perhaps. It's just so hard to tell. Like, he just needed a little bit more of accuracy debuffs actually to come through, right? That's what actually broke the back of his previous opponent. Those heavy accuracy debuffs were what really made Misukun win his game. It was a very close match as well, by the way. It was like, even though it looked like Misukun was in full control, he still barely scraped by.
I mean, we see this man arms here. I believe he does have the no, he does not have the command here. He's got Rampart, Bellow, Defender, and Bolster. When you have, I mean, let's be real. If your occultist is here simply to use your stealth, you want to use your stealth. He's not used it here. You've got a Plague Doctor has 85 base accuracy. Hellion, very low base accuracy. Even if you take that ribbon there on the man arms to get the accuracy, it still won't do it on the other two characters here. You want to take command, really. That's not paid off. The stealth hasn't paid off here. I think if I was Misukun right now, I would close my eyes. I would listen to Fall Out Boy, listen to some good music, things that will calm me down. I'll change some skills, and I'll think, you know what? I don't need to match Baguera's speed of play. We've constantly seen this entire tournament so far, people playing so quickly. And I mean, Mikefield, it's a little bit insulting. Do you not feel that a little bit insulting? Because these guys are so scared that they are just playing as fast as they possibly can. And really, we all want them to play slowly. We want them to think, use their brains. The only reason I believe I won that previous tournament is because Cherry was here behind me saying to me, stop playing so fast. I thought and I won. And right now, no one is thinking, Mike. Just no one is thinking.
Indeed, and you guys have to realize you have 30 seconds for every single turn. And it's actually going to be a bit more if you activate a character, because every single time you do activate, you get like 2 seconds or 3 seconds more on top of that. Which indeed means that you can really strategize during the fight. You can actually think ahead. So there's like this, there's this sand glass, you know, in which the sand is flowing, or there's like a candle burning. And if you do take your time, you can actually figure out something, like perhaps anticipate your opponent's movement, decide on the right course of action. But if you don't take those seconds, like this really adds up. You make a mistake that you just weren't able to see because you didn't take your time, and you end up losing a game just because of that. And I feel like this is what we see here, right?
Mike, not even needed for his finale. Simply his Dark Stab and his Harvest damage would have done it for him. The fact that he can keep dodging, like, really, it's almost unbelievable right now that Misukun, I mean, let's be honest, Misukun is playing with 3 of the worst characters a lot of people put down. This is the team I got to Darkest 1 with, but it is difficult. You need every guard right, you need every stealth right. One missed turn from Misukun is what we think decided almost the entire game, right? It's absolutely absurd. I really cannot wait until I see these guys go, okay, think, slow down, read your opponent's abilities, think what they can do. Because right now, Misukun has lost this game. If I'm Misukun, I'm thinking right now, do I play this comp again? Do I change some trinkets? Do I maybe put command on that? Do I not need to put command on that? Is this the only dodge heavy comp, you know? This is the perfect tournament format for you to be able to think and win.
Yeah.
You do not need to be the most knowledgeable player if you are the player that takes the longest time, yeah?
Yes, indeed. Like, even if you're a fast thinker, because Sakrasta said, like, if you're a fast thinker, you don't need to take your time, you still can come up with some sort of a strategy, because every single second that you take basically plays in your favor, because you can just anticipate, you can strategize, you can think forward. You don't have to be deciding on what you're doing right now. You can be thinking of what your opponent is going to do to you, and just how to react to that as well. Because if you don't do this, this just might be a very, very difficult game for you, really. So we're just going to go to picks and bans right now. Unfortunately, Misukun loses game number 1. And this means that the composition by Baguera, which was the MAA comp, I believe, right, is just going to go out. Wait, which composition did we see? No, this is the Shieldbreaker. Dry Boys are out. Dry Boys are out,
Absolutely,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dry
that
Boys...
powerful Estes Shieldbreaker Vessel Abomination comp here. Really taking it home, considering Misukun here. I mean, a very, very, very difficult comp to maneuver. Perhaps a comp here that he's not had much time to play, because we need to pick 4 teams here. A lot of players in Darkest Dungeon. Maybe only stick to one composition all of their game plan here. This is where I think this tournament format really pushes it home, and 23 people agree with 23-0 likes to dislikes Mike, which I just think is perfect, you know?
Yeah.
But regardless, into game 2 right now. This is Musukun's game. He needs to take it.
Oh, he definitely does.
There we go. Look at this. The coin here, though, is in favor of Baguera. Really unfortunate if he's going to take control of the stun here. If he's transforming, so he's not going to get that massive advantage here.
Oh, that's a very strange move.
Yeah, I think Misukun has got the... Oh, no. Oh! Maybe not so good, though. If he was in third, he could be Spile, man.
Yeah, that's true. So that's what I was thinking as well. Like, going to the fair, like, actually, do you really want to be Spile, though? Only if the Occultist can pull the Antiquarian forward. That's the real question here, right? However, like, he is gonna sit here comfortably. He's where he wanted to be with this Abomination anyway, so pretty much safe and sound. He transforms. I feel like they're just trying to play this heavy stress game. Both of those compositions extremely heavy on stress. And obviously we have some damage because Abomination does have substantial amount of damage in every single matchup it's played in. So we can see this
face-to-face werewolf match, my friend. Absolutely remarkable. Right here, I think we want to see slight amounts of movement leverage. We got a rage pushback, maybe a rampart, can really set back one of these people. We've got an occultist here with an eldritch pull. I think these movement abilities with incidental stress on, incidental damage could really take it home, Mike. But right now we're seeing both of these players too quick, too fast, not quite doing it right. We see a bolster here as well, just a reflex bolster. The third ability of turn 1, why not do it first? Your hand master is already at almost 5 to 10% death store. I mean, Mike, I think both of these players aren't quite doing it right. They need to think more, don't they?
Maybe they're just tired and stressed, you know? That's what happens in the tournament setting if you're not used to playing in tournaments. You just kind of get carried away, emotions take over and such, and you end up doing what you're doing. Though I feel like, honestly, Misukun is in a pretty decent spot right now, isn't he? Where he's able to deliver a lot of damage, a lot of stress at the same time. And Baguera definitely loses out on turn number 1. Because his Abomination went for the slam on a very healthy target, whereas Misukun went for a very high damage rage on this Houndmaster and also was able to get a crit, I think, within this AoE from his own Houndmaster. So this amount of damage means that indeed I feel Misukun is at least an inch ahead in this one. Obviously, this stun on the Abomination of Misukun means that this transformation is going to have to slow down, is going to have to wait. He might not even be able to use it at all. However, the amount of stress actually coming out from Misukun is absolutely substantial here, and I feel this is just very, very big amount of pressure that Misukun has in this game right now. Shepard, you are done with today, by the way, because there's a question from the player. So this tournament, like for you, you just have to wait for Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday evening after the games, we'll do a tournament draw number 2, where the groups will be decided, and then we'll basically just decide on which player plays on which day. Alright? So that's how it's gonna go. You are done for today, you won your one, and this is just between Misukun and Baguera to see which one of them indeed advances to our group stages as well, and which one of them indefinitely drops from the tournament. So how do you feel, Sis? In this particular matchup right now, who has an edge?
I mean, to be honest, I keep wanting to say Misukun has an edge here. We've seen him play these ridiculous comps. He's taken the advantage when he started, but as the game's gone on, he started to lose himself, started to get a little bit kind of tilted under the pressure. A big bellow out here, hitting all 4, slowly applying that stress pressure here, putting more pressure on Baguera than he has on himself. A little bit of bleeding blight on his Abomination. The Houndmaster here from Baguera is down on death's door. That occultist as well, fully stressed out, heavily bleeding blighted. Gonna take down soon in a couple of turns. So I think Misukun, it's his game to lose.
Yeah, what was it Hound's Rush, by the way? Was it just an act out from the Houndmaster? It must have been, right? Because he had no reason not to use the Hound's Rush or just to heal himself.
For now.
The heal also very, very big occultist heal comes. We have to appreciate that for if you're Baguera, right? This is just the perfect RNG that he really needed there. I feel he's just gonna respond in kind to Baguera's Abomination, just stunning him as well, which will prevent that transformation from coming through, and it's a very, very solid stellar play, really.
When you respond in kind, you accept yourself to be equalized in tempo. If you have the tempo advantage and you respond in kind, maybe you push forward, but right now it's Misukun. We saw him lose the last game. This game is his last game. If he loses this game, he is done. And none of us want to see Misukun gone this quickly. You know? No. Misukun versus Baguera, 2 Spanish titans knocking it out here. I believe Baguera is one of Misukun's fans here right now. So this is so important for these guys, right? Whoever wins here, somebody loses for their fans. So this is just such an incredible match here. All we want to see is both of them play their hearts out, really take this to a game 3, take it all the way home. So we want Misukun to win this one, don't we?
Indeed, full agree. I mean, I want to see game 3 between those two guys. So yes, indeed, I do want Misukun to win this one, but you know, it's just crazy RNG and a lot of stress, so anything can really happen. And they are kind of evenly matched there. Like, Misukun has taken... Oh, that's a quadruple evasion. Oh god, no. You hate to see that if you're Misukun, because really, this game is so even. Every single bit of stress matters so much. And Misukun's team not the healthiest,
every
right?
single turn you take right now is so important because we are so close, such at a knife's edge. Especially as Misukun here, you have to admit, on the back foot here in terms of stress. You need to get heavy crits, you need to bam, 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 really chomp on all of them there with that doggy there. He didn't quite manage it, but these Bella is always hitting all of them, hitting quite a lot of those debuffs here. No way to clear it from Baguera. This means that Hellmaster's Harry, with enough DOTs on, enough of those debuffs rather, will not be able to do 1 damage and actually kill someone on Death's Door. But Baguera here transforming, buying that stress hit, that horror, raging, only doing 5 damage though because of that because of that bellow there.
Yes, that's true.
Really,
Heavy bellow debuffs.
It is.
Yeah, we have like everybody going resolve broken right now. That's just such an insane situation for Misukun as well, because he really wants to win this one, and it looks to be an absolutely even game. Obviously, this Houndmaster of Baguera taking heavy damage. 180 stress right now on the character, so he's very close to dropping dead. He actually goes aggressive. He realizes probably that he has no way of sustaining this character, so he just ditches this Houndmaster as where he stands. And he goes for this Hound's Harry across the board for Misukun, also inflicting quite heavy stress. So we have to see Misukun has a somewhat decent stun advantage in this one. This Houndmaster obviously almost dead. And you know, Irrational MAA also not really helping here for Baguera, I suppose. So Misukun does seem to have a small edge. And obviously the damage coming onto this Occultist as well. Oh, he actually suicides as well. This is a dead Hellmaster too. This game has just turned itself on its head. And this is just this game to lose right now. What a events. Madness.
Thank God Misukun has taken those 2 hits. I don't want to call it premeditated, but oh my lord. If that was lucky, by God, Misukun. Every single game here, Mike, has been perfect. Look at these points, Mike. This is ridiculous. Misukun here really taking it back for his fans. Pushing into a game 3. My God, Mike. Give me a second. Clean my underwear. I pre-came a little bit.
Yeah, that very unstable house of cards that Baguera has been building this game just collapsed on his hands. And I feel there is nothing you can do. 2 versus 4. Enough stress on Misukun's composition to just drive Papai Baguera's team insane right now. I just don't see a win happening. There's no.
This was Baguera's game to lose, Mike, and he did, wasn't it? Look at the stress advantage he had, though. You kept saying this was Misukun's game to lose, and I was thinking, look at that stress. Look at the heal he's got, the Occultist with the stealth, that lick wound self-healing, the absolution, that guard for the protection as well. Really, Baguera had this game in the bag. I think, quite frankly, a mixture of RNG and, quite frankly, I think skill, a bit of tilt on both players' sides is really pushing this into a game 3. Hopefully, it's not over yet, though. But man, you would love to see a game 3.
I would.
I'm loving this, Mike.
In stress versus stress, we have to remember those are the little things you do, right? Because those games are usually very evenly matched. And it's like about optimizing every single turn. So it's like even more surprising to me that those guys are not taking their time. Because really, if you're playing in an even match of composition, which it basically is, I would just expect both players to really plan very far forward and ahead. And we just don't see this at all from Misukun or from Baguera. And right now, yeah, obviously Misukun just managed to eke out a lead. Maybe this was not that much of an RNG anyways. Baguera just leaves the game, he taps out, and we are going to the final match of the day, guys. Game 3 is
I think that surrender, that tap out Mike there, not only signifies he's resigning from this game, but that might also indicate he's had a little bit of tilt though. We've seen before, I don't want to pin this on you, Mike, but your first game in the Misukun tournament, you tapped out. I think every single surrender we have ever seen has led to that player losing the match so far. So Baguera right now really needs to make sure he isn't tilted, because he's already won 1 match, right?
Yeah, we have
one more. Every single game, this is all I did last time. It's just 1 more match, yeah? I lose the game, okay. You learn from it, 1 more match. And I think maybe Misukun has learned from his losses better than Baguera has. Baguera here the first loss. If he manages to learn from this, Misukun is in a world of hurt, isn't he?
He is. When you look at those they're going into the game already, I think. They're just so
Yes,
quick at
they are! Straight off the bat,
Madman.
they are going into it.
1-1, guys, a deciding match of the day. One of those guys advances to the group stage and the other one is eliminated from the tournament. Let's see it. Let's see how they proceed with this one.
And a coin flip hitting Baguera's side, again, maybe not as effective as it would have been if Misukun got it. Misukun hit with the stun heavy team. This Vestal Crusader core matched up with this evidently powerful Jester, the bounty hunter, just to manipulate the enemy team, always get the finishing blow.
That's bad, that's so bad for Baguera. Look at this. Vestal stuns the Abomination. You execute this character right now, this turn he's just gonna die. Like,
not only that, Mike, you have the Holy Lance. Holy Lance is the only really damaging ability Crusader has.
I agree.
In front row, all he can do is heal or stun. If you push him back, especially...
No, what are you doing? No, you just killed this Abomination. You have the finale of it. Okay, this is still fine. Because this Occultist doesn't quite... Okay, that's the problem. Like, he should have just stunned someone from the get-go there.
No, Mike, what we're seeing here is we are seeing both people, both players, in a very uncomfortable position for them. To both of us, these were obvious things. You see how fast they're playing, yeah? We only know they're obvious because we've played this fast before. We've all played these matches before. They need to slow down, Mike.
That's too late for slowing down, I think, though.
Ridiculous, isn't it, Mike? Look at this. Slow down.
God.
We can't cast over games as fast.
No, that's true. Like, we're trying to anticipate what they're gonna do, and they just act and just do something entirely different. Oh, that move, that's just so unfortunate, because he could have just stunned with the... He could actually have seen this coming, seriously. He could have just anticipated, just use the Holy Lance to move the Vestal back into 4, for instance. This would have totally prevented that lost movement. This also means, right now,
we're seeing
this
the Holy Lance
BH,
now, so late though, so late.
Yeah, this BH lands in 4th, very uncomfortable for Misukun, you have to feel, right? Also,
so, I mean, why you're holding that Holy Lance there?
This A-bomb, this was not supposed to happen. You stun the Abomination and he's not gonna do this to you. Like, you just get to finish him off as well. Like, this is just gonna be a dead A-bomb.
What I think we need to do here, Mike, is we need to stop anticipating. We need to just react to what these guys are doing on the spot. Because these guys are playing the tempo we've never thought possible before. Gonna stun down Nicole, there's pretty much 2 health. 2 health only. So close to that death store, but not quite managing it here. Pushing away his only external healing possible. Also, one of his only stuns, defending it there. Making it so he cannot be pushed down here. I mean, Mike, we're going crazy around. We're going to see a harvest here. Pushing him down, we are. Oh, Mike, this is ridiculous. What is going on?
I honestly, it's just really hard to read those guys because they're both making so many mistakes. It's so hard for me to kind of get a solid read onto this. I think Misukun has Caltros, but those Caltros, you know, might just do 0 damage because he has a serious debuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
This might be a killing blow on the Occultist, though. And it's not.
Well, it does damage. It does hit, but it procs it, not kills him, though.
No, it's very unfortunate, really. I mean, this can still be a direct stab, indeed, right? That's the problem.
I mean, it could be an illumination, even anything really.
Oh, he can heal. No, he can heal this. Actually, he can just heal this right now because Misukun cannot harm this Occultist. And yeah, that's another move. Look at this.
Move back here.
That's so unfortunate. Although, if he slams this right now, this just lands in second. Okay, this is a huge heal as well. That's basically all over right now.
Monstrous. Giving it almost a full heal. That wouldn't have been so punishing if it was not for that guard there. Yeah. That guard only really defended against a slight hit. What?
The stun comes down.
It goes through. Enter the Actalmente, right?
Yeah, it's just so late for the stun though. This should have been the opener to this game. Stun on the A-bomb with the Vestal, slam him with the finish him, finale, game over. And this A-bomb going down turn 1 usually spells the defeat, because what else do you have? You have the Occultist who just gets pulled and dies.
I mean, listen man, Misukun has got a Jester. It's turn 3. It's in rank 3. He's at low health. If he chooses him, he's going into Death's Door. He is not ready to kill a single target. What is he doing right now?
Oh, I have no idea.
Such powerful compositions. But he has
no. You have to hit this A-bomb though. Like you have to just focus on target, and the A-bomb is like a perfect choice. I feel like this just like Misukun just let this game go in the very first turn. Like he just didn't think this through well enough. I feel, and that's the problem. He just misplayed this so heavily turn 1 that it's just gonna be almost impossible. Virtually impossible to come back into this right now.
I mean, we say it's impossible to come back, but we here have seen. I mean, okay, so let's be real, brother. If we or you were to take over Misukun or his opponents here, Baguera's teams, maybe we could take a victory out, but right now we've seen some weird play here.
Yeah, we
do.
do.
Very interesting play. These are games that are winnable from any position right now. We're seeing characters, players that really, I think, are buckling under the pressure actually of the tournament setting.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we saw them play very smart at the start of the tournament, and the longer it goes on, the quicker they play, the more that you see this twisting. What's he doing? Is he playing competitor? Is he doing? What's he doing? Exactly, Mike. Everything here is an issue for these guys. There's no comfort here. There's no slow playing.
Oh god, yeah, that's just such a rough situation right now for Misukun though. Like, I feel like if Papaya Baguera just presses random buttons right now, he just wins because he did so much already. He just is gonna be able to take over this game. Whereas
well, I mean,
Misukun just needs a miracle now.
Doesn't it feel right now that both of the players have been just mashing random buttons, no?
Yeah, it does. Especially
exactly, right? If Misukun started playing properly, just think, just slow down. Slow down, right?
If Misukun had taken his time turn 1, man, like taken those 30 seconds on the very first activation, he would have read this game, I think. He would have just been able to capitalize on what this game looks like. And instead we just get this, and it just, he hasn't done any damage. He has so little pressure, this Jester, somewhat usable still, but that's just, the Jester is just serviceable, honestly. There is nothing else to say about that. And that pull comes through again, this Vest under pressure just is not gonna get the finale anytime soon this way. And you just have to feel this is just very desperate situation for Misukun. He's taking more damage than Baguera is, and he's playing against a stress comp. This is just a bad sign. Moving, obviously very fortunate affliction move here, but that's just all there is. Looks so unlucky, like not even unlucky. I feel like this is just strategically a very poor play by Misukun, to be frank.
Absolutely. I mean, Misukun, he could still take it, Mike. This is the thing that is really tearing me up inside. Both of these, it's only turn 4. It's only turn 4. And we keep talking like it's all over. He's pushing it now. He's now pulled the Houndmaster into rank 2, where he can use his stun. I mean, come on, man. He doesn't use it though.
Yeah, with the BH, you need to be able to leverage the damage that he has against stun targets, especially if you have the BH on the stun composition, right? Which Misukun just has been physically unable to do because of all those weird things that he has been pulling off this game. So that's the biggest deal, honestly. He's just not been able to utilize the biggest damage source he has in conjunction with the finale of the Jester or the Derek Stab even, because you can just, slam somebody with a single finish him and then just follow up with the Derek Stab, usually they're dead. So it's super unfortunate he's not been able to get the combo done because it's just beautiful how much damage those guys do them. And instead he's in this very weird shouting match in which he's definitely gonna lose if this kind of paces this way, because he's losing in terms of damage, his heavy debuffs, he's controlled as well, and on top of everything, all this stress, all those afflictions stacking up, nothing really in his favor going into this game. He still has the finale, obviously, right? But how much longer is this Jester going to stay alive? And also, granted the amount of control that Baguera has, like the guards, the pushes, is this Jester really gonna be allowed to do anything like that? How do you feel? I think a pass as well. That's just the cherry on the top for Baguera, really. Like, he's sitting there comfortably in his chair right now. I think
he's gonna jump it off right now. But I still think Misukun, he's not quite lost it here.
Oh.
It's on such a knife's edge. But really, he's not quite gone. You need to leverage these stuns. Misukun has such a heavy advantage, though. He's got and he's healing rather than stunning every single turn, Mike. I mean, really, I'm so disappointed for Misukun when I want to slip my wrists. This is so unfortunate for me. I'm dying every single turn, man. I think the Misukun fans' endurance Again, Baguera, another Spanish guy. Big fan of Misukun, so maybe it's not that bad, but really,
I mean,
Misukun here is so unfortunate, isn't it, Mike?
yeah. I mean, you can dress it in a pretty gown all you want, sis, but I feel like Misukun is just dumb. Like, I know we're just supposed to be hyping up those players, but holy crap, this is the most done game I've seen in this tournament.
It's not that, Mike. What I'm seriously thinking, when I say I think Misukun might have a chance here, is I'm not thinking if Misukun plays the way he's playing. What I'm thinking here is if Misukun just takes his time to think, it only takes 10 seconds, 15 seconds to think and go, 1, 2, hold on actually, if I do that, death blow, see? If he did something different last turn, he could have resisted that death blow, he might have stunned the abomination, yeah? All it takes is a couple of exactly, and
we see a surrender from Misukun, and this is over, unfortunately.
I would love to talk to Misukun here, if we kind of know in a kind of winner versus losers interview.
So these guys... Yeah, but for now, let's just announce this. So we have 2 players advancing to the group stages. It's going to be Sheffield and Baguera. Misukun, Spartan, Misukun and Spartan specifically from this round have been eliminated from the tournament. And this concludes this run for